He threatened to throw a Molotov cocktail through our RV window. Andy said, "I know where you are." That's not acceptable.
We are protected by Simply Safe, and we'll tell you more about that later.
Warning, some of you may find this disturbing, and we will be reporting this to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. Some of you may have seen our Harassed series where we were harassed in an HOA RV park down in Florida. We received a lot of comments on that, mostly positive, a few negative, but this comment is a threat. It's time to get him out, and if you two will not leave, a couple of Molotov cocktails thrown through your windows may help convince you to change your minds. I live in Destin, Florida, and I know where you are. Learn to sleep with your eyes open. And he continues, you need to be reminded, RV trailers burn very hot and fast because of the airspace under them. You should think about it. That is completely unacceptable. We are going to turn this into the local police department down in Destin, Florida. And this incident has forced us to make some changes, and we are going to share those with you so you can stay safe as well when you're on the road. First tip, don't check in on social media, especially publicly when you arrive to a new spot. And we did not share the Harassed video series until we had left that particular park down in Florida. Turn more lights on at night around your RV. Now, I've gotten some crap for doing that, but I think you'd rather be more safe than have it completely dark outside. Plus, invest in automatic lights on the outside of your RV. They've got inexpensive models at hardware stores that just stick up and turn on automatically, and they're charged by the sun. And here's a tip from one of our viewers. Helen writes that her brother has a sign on the door of his RV that says, "Please be careful and don't let the dog rush you and escape when entering." But they think it sounds a little more realistic, more believable than a beware of dog sign. And dare I say, do less boondocking. I know that's not a great thing to say because a lot of you love boondocking, but maybe not do it solo boondocking. And be in a group of RVers like a caravan so you're less of a target. And from our friends, Four Wheels and a Highway, to share your location on Google Maps with like a friend or a family member. That way they always know where you are. And if you want to do more low tech, maybe just text or email your location where you're going to be and have a set checkpoint, a time and a date when you're going to communicate that you're okay. And if you don't have an RV yet, you might want to consider a Class A, B, or C, like a van, for example, where you don't have to get out of the RV to drive your vehicle, like what we have to do in our fifth wheel, or having a travel trailer. There are some people that suggest that's a safer thing to do because you can kind of make your escape a lot quicker. And you may want to carry. Now, if you choose to carry, be aware that the laws do vary by state, and you should get training on that. That can be kind of detailed and complicated, and there are other videos and blogs out there that talk about that more in depth. So that might be something to consider. You can also have pepper spray or bear spray available as a deterrent. Now, just be mindful of the direction that the wind is blowing when you use it, because you don't want that coming back on yourself. And if you don't want to use that, other people have recommended like wasp spray or even just hairspray, some kind of other chemical. Just be wary as well that it's illegal in some places to use a product like that other than its intended purpose. Just be aware of that. And another tip from a viewer, Robert, says you can make your own spray out of red pepper and water, mix it together, and that also works well. Robert also adds, which I think is a great tip, that you can check with the local police department in an area that you're going to. If you're going to be boondocking or the campground that you're going to, make sure that it's safe to go to and they haven't had a lot of reports. So great tip, Robert. Thank you. And this is the biggest change we're making.
When I was a kid, our home was broken into 3 times. So security is really important to me. And remember in San Diego, what happened?
Oh yeah, can't forget that. Our car was broke into and they took thousands of dollars worth of stuff, personal items, clothing, and business equipment. Okay, we're outside of the Marriott La Jolla. Somebody broke in here last night. Looks like only one broken window.
It doesn't feel good when people have rummaged through your things in your car, like when I was young in our home.
And what was worse is the feeling of not being safe after that. We're really careful now with our vehicle and what we leave in it. But now we're in this RV full time.
And all of our belongings are in this RV. All of our office work belongings are
cameras,
in this RV.
Computers.
Yeah.
All of this equipment that we used to make a living, and if something was to happen to that, that'd be a big deal.
Yeah, so we feel really good about having a security system. It gives us huge peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Simply Safe is a reliable home security system that'll make you feel safe in your home or RV. You order it online or on the phone, and they'll deliver it right to your campsite or to your home. And you can set it up yourself in just under an hour.
Here's a motion sensor. It's super easy to install. We'll just stick it right there. You can hardly even notice it. We have this one hidden under the counter.
I love the panic button feature. I can grab this at any time and press it, and it'll set an alarm off in case of any kind of emergency. See how great it works? It's okay in here, it's just me.
Plus they have sensors to cover every window, room, and door. Plus lots of great extras. Like water sensors.
Water sensor. Named.
Temperature sensors.
Freeze sensor. Detected.
And HD cameras.
Plus the monitoring center will call the police if it's alerted to anything.
Alarm off.
Remember, to protect your home or RV, head to simplysafe.com/enjoythejourney.
All right, I got the keys. Are you ready to go? Let's go have some dinner with some friends.
Let's go.
Please exit now.
And a tip from Daryl, he says, don't drive at night. Yes, we agree with that if you've seen one of our recent videos. And a tip from Thomas, he says, keep your key fob handy, and if you hear something, an intruder in the night, just hit that alarm button right there. Great tip, Thomas, and it doesn't cost anything. And a tip from Lynn, she says, buy a cheap air horn. That you've seen sports fans use these air horns at games and stuff like that. Hey, another way to make a loud noise that could scare a possible intruder away. Here's another inexpensive way to protect yourself in your RV is to use some signage or stickers that suggests you're more of a weekend camper, maybe not full timing. That way people think you have maybe less stuff with you. If you're a veteran or you support veterans or the military, maybe stickers that show what branch of the military you were in or which branch you support. Now, if you are carrying and you want to use a sticker that sounds kind of threatening, so to speak, that might work, but you also might get more of the bad kind of attention, so really consider that. You don't want to attract more attention like from the local authorities if your RV is covered in all kinds of those kind of stickers, and you know what I'm talking about, so just keep that in mind. Now, this is one of our favorites. Be mindful of your surroundings. Sometimes you show up to an area and it just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel safe, just feels off. And Cheri and I have camped in several places that were like that, like that RV park in Tonopah, Arizona. If you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check that out. Just be willing to jump back in your RV and go to the next site if it doesn't feel right. I mean, don't travel in fear, because that will attract bad things happening. Expect like the most beautiful and amazing campsite to present itself, and it is awesome how many great campsites that we stumble upon in campgrounds and boondocking. Always expect the best and be prepared in case it's not. Consider changing your RV locks, because a lot of older RVs actually have like a universal key that is shared between multiple kinds of RVs, so it may not be that secure. RV Lock has a great option for that, and now we're going to change our locks. I've also been waiting quite a while to install these. These are our brand new RV locks that are going to be a lot more convenient, and I feel a lot more safe on the RV as we're traveling all over the place. Another way that we get to feel more safe and secure in the RV. So far, so good. I don't want to tighten them down really tight just yet. I want to make sure everything is working properly. And they say just be careful not to over tighten these screws even when you're done installing it. What I found with the last lock, and now even this one too, that they can kind of close a little stiff, and using a little bit of WD-40 where the lock meets the side of the RV will sometimes make that easier. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I just tried the 1, 2, 3, 4 generic code, and sure enough, it did lock the lock. We'll go ahead and key that in again. There must be a setting to shut that off. That's kind of loud. There, now I can put our own code in there, but you guys don't get to see what it is. Well, I really like the look of that. It's a lot tougher looking. I think it makes it the RV look a lot tougher to break into. So happy with this install right here. Plus we have another one for the back door that we'll get to put on. But there's even a bonus in here, a key fob right here. So we can do it remotely. This is awesome. So I have to hit the fob reset button and press the lock button at the same time. Right there. Unlock and lock. Sweet. This one's all set. Gosh, this is one of our very first security devices right here. This is basically a pin lock for the fifth wheel hitch. Gosh, we had this since the Columbus, and it just makes it a lot. You can see this thing is rusted. It wasn't that expensive. What it does basically pops right on here, goes through there, then locks up. And it makes it so somebody can't just hook up to your RV fifth wheel pin box here and drive off. Now, I'm not going to say any of the things we're talking about in this video are foolproof, but it's like every little deterrent makes it that much harder, and sometimes you just need just a small little bit of deterrence for someone to say, I'm going to go to the next RV, the next house, or whatever. So old but trusty, and there's lots of different versions of these. I'm sure some that are heavier duty than that, but I like to have that on there when we're leaving and the truck or the Jeep is not blocking the front of the RV. If we've got a vehicle in front of the RV, then I don't bother with that. That one's done. So I've got both key fobs programmed to lock or unlock the front or the back. There's 4 different buttons on each fob, so it's really handy. I'm impressed with this and look forward to using these. Again, I think this is going to increase our security in the RV. From another viewer, she says, for the ladies, have a hair stick. I'm not real familiar with that, but I believe it's something that you hold your hair together with, ladies, and something you could use to, you know, help stop an intruder. Also, if you are solo traveling, maybe put extra chairs outside your campsite, make it look like you're in a group of people camping, and maybe a pair or two of large men's boots. Don't make it look like you're alone, and make it look like there might be a big guy hanging around, so they will keep looking for trouble elsewhere. You can also consider taking some basic self-defense lessons, because if you don't have anything to defend yourself, you've always got these. And this is kind of an extreme tip, but I wanted to share it anyway. This is from Evelyn, and she says she puts her key around her neck so that she always has it there in a pinch. When she parks her RV, she's always facing the exit. She tries to keep from being blocked in. She's super choosy where she parks. No gates or poles with chains that can be closed. She takes a note of the landscape, big mud puddles, trees, rocks, bumpers. She even draws a sketch of how to get out, so if she leaves, like in the middle of the night, she knows how to get out. You know, close and lock all doors and windows, everything inside, ready to pull away in a moment's notice. She's learned this from experience. Thanks for sharing, Evelyn. Maybe extreme for some people, but it just shows you the lengths that some people go to be prepared. So one thing I like about these larger canisters on this RV is that they last a lot longer. The downside is when you go to refill them, not every place does a refill. And like what happened today, you call and say, hey, can you refill my propane canister? And they say, sure. You get there and they only offer exchanges because the store personnel don't know the difference between a refill and an exchange. I actually had to do quite a bit of calling around, but I did finally find a BP gas station that filled this up, and it was about $27 from empty, so not too bad. But I'm going to take the opportunity of installing this propane canister to go ahead and upgrade our propane safety device. Now this one right here, I previously got this on Amazon a while back. It's just a cheapo, no-name brand as far as I know. The folks over at Gas Stop saw a video where we were using this and said, hey, you guys need to upgrade for some serious propane safety. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to toss this guy and upgrade to the Gas Stop. So this is the Gas Stop device here. It's the only 100% guaranteed automatic propane shutoff device on the market, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. It's easy to install. We're going to go ahead and put this on right now, plus put it on the other propane tank as well. So as you can see, this is a lot more well built than that other device that I had. This fills me with a lot more confidence on being safe with propane. So first we're going to go ahead and get it on the canister. They're nice and snug. We'll put the propane canister back. We'll go ahead and connect up the hose here. Turn it so we can see the gauge right here. Now we're going to go ahead and turn on the gauge, and you can see it shows low right now. You've got to prime it 4 to 6 times. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Now you can see it reads out as high. So this one is ready to go with a full tank. And what I'll do is go ahead and turn this tank off, because I like to have one full tank off, kind of in reserve, and then we'll go ahead and install the Gas Stop on the other tank that we've already been using. Let's put the next Gas Stop device on the other propane tank. So go ahead and shut off this tank here. We'll pull off this cheap device here. Look at the difference here. Big difference in quality. And you can also use these to help find minor leaks as well. Online, they get great reviews, but highly recommend. Go ahead and turn the valve back on here. Again, it's showing empty or low. We'll prime it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see it's partially full, not completely, but plenty of gas left in this tank right here. So happy to have these on, knowing that if anything was to happen on the road, maybe a tire blows out, separates a gas line, and there was some kind of a leak at any time, the gas stop will immediately close the valve and stop that. Could prevent a fire or any other kind of emergency like that. And a couple tips from Howling Fun Adventures. Just the basics. When you're going to fill up your tank with gas or going to the grocery store, don't leave your RV unlocked, even for a small amount of time, because thieves are looking for opportunities, even just a couple of seconds. I've seen video in gas stations where someone will be filling up their vehicle and they'll show someone sweep in there really fast, grab something out of their car, and they're gone. So even if it seems like I'm only gonna have my head turned for a couple seconds, lock up and be safe. Oh, and they had one more tip, is to check the sexual predators list online. I know there's several websites for the area that you're going to be going to. We have done this before and it's been spooky. If you're concerned about that, or you have young kids or vulnerable adults with you, definitely check that out. Again, you can find those online. Now, all of these tips are my opinion or the opinions of some of our other viewers. Thank you so much for sharing your comments below as well. If you've got tips to help all of us stay safe out here while we're on the road, we really appreciate that. We want to let everybody know that threats and harassment of RVers is very rare. We maybe get more of it because we're putting ourselves out here on YouTube. We get mostly positive comments from viewers out there, and we appreciate that. And remember to be kind. Right here. Everybody deserves kindness, even the HOA board members back at that RV park in Florida, and sometimes even the worst people, your least favorite person on the planet, maybe needs and deserves kindness the most. I think the perception is that it's not safe to travel anywhere right now, and we really don't feel that's the case. We have actually met some of the nicest and kindest people out here on the road, and we love meeting you guys and fellow travelers out here. Maybe it's the news focusing on the negative all the time. It might give you the impression that it's just not safe at all to be out here. Yes, times are challenging. You need to be realistic, but I think you do need to continue to get out there, and you've got to think of your mental health and not stay shut in. And whether it's small trips, whatever those look like to you, or not delaying starting your full-time journeys, be smart about it, be open for it to be amazing, because it can be. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. Remember to enter our free giveaway where you can win over $7,000 worth of RV and travel prizes. It's a completely free entry. We'll put a link down below to that. We're giving an e-bike away from Lectric, a mattress from Lippert. We've got gift certificates for Grand Design merch, and also an RV generator from E-Trailer, and a lot more prizes. And there's bonus entry options as well, plus secret codes. We've already had 2 of them, and only a handful of you have figured them out. So if you haven't figured out what the secret codes are for bonus entries, check our social media, check our previous videos. Good luck to you, and we'll see you in the next video. We made a big mistake.
I'm embarrassed.
It was flies.
Not just flies, millions of
Lies.
Ugh, I can't even watch it.
Hit the lock button. Like somebody backed their RV into this tree right here.
Don't pull in at night.
Right. Remember, to protect your home or RV, head to simplysafe.com/enjoy-the-journey.
Head for the sun, follow your footsteps, edge of the world, right to your doorstep, home. Anywhere you wanna go, beyond the stars.